Hey guys, in this video we are going to be making a baby poncho. This poncho measures 17 inches at its widest point and 11 inches at its tallest point from the neck to the tip. This poncho can be worn by a 1 to 2 year old with a shoulder width of 9 to 11 inches. For this baby poncho I am using a Red Heart No. 4 medium weight yarn in the ombre skeins. There are 482 yards in these skeins, and it does not even take one whole skein to make one of these ponchos. Along with our yarn, we are going to be using a 6mm hook. This poncho is made out of 4 granny squares whip stitched together with a border around the neck and the bottom. When I designed this poncho, I did it with my daughter in mind when she was a little bit younger and we were getting in and out of the car a bunch and it was raining outside. You are not supposed to put your children in the car seat with sweaters on because it makes their car seats not fit as well. So taking a sweater on and off a whole bunch was getting really old and time consuming. So I designed this poncho to be able to take on and off very easily and quickly to be able to take your children in and out of the car seat faster. To get started for this baby poncho, we are going to start with a magic ring, and we are going to chain 3 off of this magic ring, which does count as a double crochet. And if you need to see how to do this or anything else in this video, I will put links for those in the description box below. So we are now going to go on to double crochet 11 more times around this magic ring, and that will leave us with 12 double crochets for the first round. When you have 12 double crochets in your magic ring, you can go ahead and pull that closed and then slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the beginning 3 of this round. For the second round, we are again going to start off with a chain of 3, which does count as a double crochet, and we are going to work a double crochet into the same stitch for 2 double crochets in that first stitch, and then we are going to work 2 double crochets in the very next stitch and every single stitch all the way around. So again, work 2 double crochets into each stitch. When you have worked 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around, we will then slip stitch into the 3rd stitch of the beginning 3 again, and you should have 24 double crochets at the end of this round. For the 3rd round, we are going to start off with a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. And we are then going to double crochet into the very next stitch, and then chain 1, and again double crochet into the very next stitch. And repeat this all the way around, again by chaining 1 and double crocheting into the next stitch, and doing this all the way around. When you make it all the way around that round, you should end with a double crochet in the very last stitch and a chain 1, and we are going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the beginning 4. And you should have 24 double crochets and 24 chain 1 spaces at the end of that round. For round 4, we are going to start off by slip stitching into this first chain space, so that we start off in this chain space, and then we are going to work a chain of 4, which again counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and we are going to double crochet around the same chain 1 space for a V stitch. Then we are going to double crochet around the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and double crochet around the same chain 1 space for a V stitch. And we are going to go around and work 1 V stitch in each chain 1 space all the way around. So again, double crochet around the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and double crochet around the same space, and do that all the way around. When you get all the way around that round, you should have 24 V stitches, which is 48 double crochets and 24 chain 1 spaces. and then we are going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 4, and that is the end of round 4. For the next round, round 5, we are again going to slip stitch into this first chain 1 space, and we are going to start off with a chain of 2, which counts as a double crochet with the last loop on the hook. We are then going to start 2 more double crochets, leaving the last loop on the hook of both of them, so we have 3 double crochets with the last loop on the hook, and bring them all together for one 3 double crochet cluster. We are then going to chain 3 and work another 3 double crochet cluster in this same chain 1 space. Again, by starting 3 double crochets, leaving the last loop of each of them on your hook, and bringing them all together. We are then going to chain 3 and skip the next V-stitch and single crochet into the next chain 1 space of the next V-stitch. So again, single crochet around that next chain 1 space after skipping 1 chain 1 space. Then we are going to chain 2 and single crochet around the very next chain 1 space. Chain 2 again, and single crochet around the next chain 1 space. Then chain 3, skip a V-stitch, so the next chain 1 space, skip that, and then work a 3 double crochet cluster around the next chain 1 space. So start 3 double crochets, leaving the last loop on the hook, and bring them all together. We are then going to chain 3 and work one more 3 double crochet cluster around this same chain 1 space. So this is now going to be the 2 corners, the first 2 corners of our work so far. So we have a 3 double crochet cluster, a chain 3, a 3 double crochet cluster, then we chain 3 and skipped 1 chain 1 space and single crocheted into the next. Then chain 2 and single crocheted into the next chain 1 space, chain 2, single crocheted into the next chain 1 space, chained 3, skipped a chain 1 space, and then worked a 3 double crochet cluster into the next, a chain 3, and another 3 double crochet cluster into the same chain 1 space. So this is going to be the pattern for this round. We are then going to go on to chain 3 again and skip the next chain 1 space, single crochet into the next, chain 2, single crochet into the next, chain 1 space, chain 2, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 3, skip 1 chain 1 space, and then work our 3 double crochet cluster, chain 3, and 3 double crochet cluster all into the next chain 1 space. Making sure to have these chain 3 spaces with 1 chain 1 space skipped and the 3 single crochets and the chain 1 spaces in between each corner. When you make it all the way around that round, you might have to stretch it out a little bit to get it to sit right, but you should end with a chain 3 with 1 last chain 1 space to skip, and then we are going to slip stitch into the very first 3 double crochet cluster to join this round. At the end of the 5th round, you should have 8 3 double crochet clusters, 12 chain 3 spaces, 9 single crochets, and 8 chain 2 spaces. For round 6, we are going to slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, and we are going to start off with a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we are going to double crochet around the same chain 3 space. We are then going to chain 3 and work 2 more double crochets around this same chain 3 space. We are then going to go on to work 4 half double crochets around the next chain 3 space. So again, work 4 half double crochets around this next chain 3 space, and then we are going to go on to work 3 single crochets around the next 2 chain 2 spaces. So 3 single crochets around the first chain 2 space and 3 single crochets around the second chain 2 space. We are then going to go on to work 4 half double crochets around the next chain 3 space, just like the other side. So 4 half double crochets around this chain 3 space, and then we are at the chain 3 space for the corner. So we are going to work 2 double crochets around this chain 3 space, chain 3, and work 2 more double crochets around this same chain 3 space. And that is going to be the pattern for this round. So again, work 4 half double crochets around the next chain 3 space, 3 single crochets around the next 2 chain 2 spaces, 4 half double crochets around the next chain 3 space, and then 2 double crochets, a chain 3, and 2 double crochets around the chain 3 space for the corner, and repeat this all the way around. When you get all the way around that round, you should end with 4 half double crochets around the last chain 3 space, and we are going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 3 to join that round. And at the end of this round, you should have 16 double crochets, 32 half double crochets, 24 single crochets, and 4 chain 3 spaces. For round 7, we are going to start off with a chain of 3, which does count as a double crochet, and we are going to double crochet into the very next stitch, and then we are going to work 6 double crochets around the next chain 3 space. So again, work 6 double crochets around this chain 3 space. When you have 6 double crochets around that chain 3 space, we are then going to double crochet into the very next double crochet and into the next 17 stitches for 18 stitches in between the 2 corners. So work 1 double crochet in all 18 stitches in between the 2 chain 3 spaces for the corners. When you have worked those 18 stitches and you are now at the next chain 3 space, we are again going to work 6 double crochets into this chain 3 space and repeat this pattern all the way around by working 1 double crochet into the next 18 stitches and 6 double crochets around the chain 3 space of each corner. When you get all the way around that round, you should have 96 double crochets with 6 double crochets around each chain 3 space of the corner and 18 double crochets on each side in between each corner. We are then going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 3 to join this round. Round 8 is going to be our last round, and we are going to start off with a chain of 3, which does count as a double crochet, and we are going to double crochet 1 time in the next 2 stitches, and then we are going to double crochet 2 times in the next 4 stitches. So again, work 2 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. When you have 2 double crochets in those 4 stitches, we are then going to go on to work 1 double crochet in the next 20 stitches. So again, work 1 double crochet in the next 20 stitches. When you have worked 1 double crochet in those 20 stitches, we are then going to go on to work 2 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. So that is the pattern that we are going to work for this round, working these 2 double crochets in these 4 stitches, and then working 1 double crochet in the next 20 stitches, and working this all the way around. When you make it all the way around that round, we are going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 3 to join that round. And again, this was our last round, so you will then finish off your work and weave in your ends and make 4 of these squares all together. When you have all 4 of your squares made and your ends weaved in, you will then lay them out in this pattern and sew the sides that are touching together. So you will take this first square and this second square and make the 2 faces face each other, like so, and then whip stitch this side together. You will then unfold that and fold this third square on top of the first square and whip stitch this side together, and then you will unfold that and take this third square and this fourth square and lay them together and whip stitch this side together. When you have all 4 of your squares sewn together in this pattern, you will then take this fourth square and fold it so that it lays on top of this middle square, mirroring it, making it so the 2 faces are facing each other. And then we are going to take this last flat square and fold it in half so that its open edge is meeting this open edge of this square. And then we are going to take these 2 sides and sew them together. When you have whip stitched all of your squares together, you will then flip your work right side out, and you are going to want to know which square you want to be the front and which you want to be the back. And we are going to work a border around the bottom of our poncho. To do this, we are going to start on our back square, working with our poncho upside down so that we are working on the right side of our work with our work right side out. And we are going to start with a loop on our hook and work along this side, starting on this side of our work so that we are coming down to the bottom point of the back of our poncho. So again, we are going to start with the slip stitch on our hook, and we are just going to insert it into whichever stitch you would like and slip stitch that on to our work. Then we are going to chain 1 and work 1 single crochet into this stitch and into every stitch until you come to the very bottom 2 stitches of your corner for the bottom tip of our poncho. Okay, I am now at the 2 very middle stitches of the bottom corner of my poncho. And to know what stitches those are, we have these 2 double crochets in these 4 stitches here, and we are going to work our corner in the bottom 2 stitches. So within these 8 stitches, which make up the 2 in each stitch, we are going to work into the 4th and 5th of these 8 stitches. So now that we are at these 2 stitches, we are going to work 2 single crochets into both of these stitches. Again, 2 single crochets into both of them. And then we are going to continue on working 1 single crochet in each stitch until you come to the point where your square meets the next square, right here. When you come to where your 2 stitches connect, we are going to leave 1 stitch open here so that we can work 1 half double crochet into this stitch. Again, 1 half double crochet into that stitch. And then with these 2 stitches that you use to sew the 2 squares together that are already used, we are going to work 2 half double crochets together in these 2 stitches. So start a half double crochet in the first, leaving all of the loops on the hook, and then start a half double crochet in the second, again leaving all of the loops on the hook, and then bring all of those loops together in 1 half double crochet together. And then we are going to work 1 half double crochet in the next available stitch on the next square, and then work 1 single crochet into the next stitch in every stitch until where your next 2 squares come together, working this the same way. And then again working 1 single crochet in each stitch until you come to the next corner point of your poncho, where you will work 2 single crochets in the very tip 2 stitches like we did on the other side, and again work this next side the exact same way, working the 2 squares connecting together the same way, and 1 single crochet in each stitch in between that, all the way back to the very first single crochet of the row. When you get all the way around the poncho and you are now back at the first single crochet of that border, we are going to slip stitch into the top of that single crochet, and I am going to go around to work 1 more round around the border. You do not have to work 1 more round if you do not want to, or you can work more than 1 round if you would like. For this round we are going to start off with a chain of 1 and single crochet into the same stitch, and work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around, and then slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet to join the round. This is going to be the last row that I work around the border, but if you would like to work more than these 2 rows for the border, then you will want to continue working a couple of stitches in the very corner stitches on the tip corner of your poncho so that it continues to round around the edge and it doesn't start to curl up. When you have made it all the way around that second round for the bottom border, we are again going to slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet of that round, and I am going to finish off my work for this border and weave in my ends. Again, you can work more than 2 rows if you would like. Just remember to work a couple of extra stitches in the very bottom of the point tip of the poncho so that it does not start curving. The last thing that we are going to do for this poncho is work a border around the neckline. So again, starting with a slip knot on our hook, we are going to slip stitch into one of these stitches over here, coming up to where all 3 of these squares are connecting. So again, slip stitch into any stitch that you would like, and then we are going to chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch and into every stitch until you come up to where these 3 squares connect. When you have come to where these 3 squares are connected and you have single crocheted into the last available stitch on this square, we are then going to work 1 single crochet into each 4 of these stitches that were used in the last stitch to sew these squares together. So again, we are going to work 1 single crochet into each of these stitches. And yes, they have already been used, but we are going to work 1 single crochet into each of them anyways to fill this gap. So again, work 1 single crochet into each 4 of these stitches. And then we are going to go on to work 1 single crochet into each stitch along the side of this next square until you come to the front where the next 3 squares are connecting, where you will do the same thing and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way back to the first single crochet of this round. When you have come back to the beginning single crochet of that round, we are going to slip stitch into the top of that single crochet, and again I'm going to go on to work 1 more round around the neckline of this poncho. So we're going to start with a chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch and work 1 single crochet into each stitch until you come to the 4 single crochets in the very bottom dip of this neckline. When you come to these 4 stitches in the bottom dip of the neckline, we are going to bring these first 2 stitches together in 1 single crochet by starting a single crochet and leaving the last loop on the hook in the first stitch, and doing the same in the second, leaving the last loop on the hook, and bring those 2 stitches together. And then we're going to do the same thing in the next 2 stitches, starting a single crochet in the first and starting a single crochet in the second, and bringing those 2 stitches together. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch until the front dip, where we will do the same thing and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch until you come back to the beginning single crochet. When you get back to the beginning single crochet of that round, you will then slip stitch into the top of that single crochet, and I am only going to work these 2 rows for the neckline of this poncho. So I am going to finish off my work and weave in my ends. And if you would like to work more than these 2 borders for your neckline, then you will continue doing the same thing, making sure to bring a few stitches together in the bottom dip of the neckline so that it continues looking the same way. And that's all there is to it. So I hope that that was helpful and enjoyable for you. If it was, please hit that sub, like, and bell button and leave me a comment to tell me what you think. I hope that you guys go on to create many more amazing things. And until next time, guys, I'll see ya.